this is what we call a French drain. So this is the gardener who grew all those tomatoes. That's the bed before he puts soil in it. So from the downspout, we put a solid plastic pipe, and then this is looking down. And then at about 2 feet down, it's got an elbow, so it's coming out into the yard. And we actually put it under this patio. And then where it comes, it's not under the patio, it's got holes in it. And actually, we put landscape fabric around it because otherwise the holes get filled with dirt. But here it's going to run under the soil, so it's watering the soil from below. And then at the end of it, we put a well so that when there's a lot of rain, it'll just wash into that well full of river rocks and then spread into the yard. So, and I made one mistake, or I would do it differently now. This is that backyard. So it slopes this way a bit, which you can actually see from that photo. But what happens here is she has vegetable beds here and here. I should have put it over here because the water would run under more of her yard. So what happens now is that well, there's the drain, comes out here, and then it runs that way. So we actually had to put gravel back there, and a lot of it runs into her neighbor's yard. And he doesn't complain, but it would have been better if we'd had it go more into her yard. And there's her other veggie bed, and you can see all the plants over here. And that's a cherry tree. Yeah, so this woman who has this beautiful yard with lots of food, she's a doctor, and she bought this house so that her daughter could be close to the school. And they were only going to live there 5 years. But after the first year, they said they both want to live there forever. I mean, it doesn't look like so much now, but they love that yard. They love growing their own food. They love the flowers that bloom all through the season. The front yard, it's all perennial flowers, and it also has more fruit bushes as well. This is another example of a French drain, so where you just take it straight from the downspout into the yard. And this is the yard where you saw the front yard. It was all flat, and we covered the quackgrass. So their drain spouts were going right into the neighbor's fence, and we didn't think that was very ethical or good use of the water. So in this case, we hooked both of the drain spouts into flexible pipe and ran it all the way into the backyard. So the ditch that you dig, it should slope down. And by the time it got into the backyard, it was about 6 feet deep. And where it came out from behind the house and then was in the plantings, again, we then had corrugated pipe with holes in it, so the water's coming under the soil. And this is what they call a sock. When you buy this stuff, it's called weeping tile. And you can get it with a sock, or you can wrap landscape fabric around it. And again, we put a well of river rocks there. And in fact, where that came out was in the sheep's fescue lawn. So I wondered if it was going to wash out the lawn at all, but it didn't.